This 1994 Honda Magna 750 runs good, except for the carburetors on this side, on the left side of the bike. So what we're thinking happened, I took this to my buddy and he agrees with me that varnish, old gas, whatever, plugged up the two carburetors on this side. The bike runs, it falters, you can tell it's not getting power, and you can test at the tailpipes. There's two on this side, one for each cylinder, and two on this side, one for each cylinder. So what happens is the bike leans this way to the left, and then you end up gumming up the carburetors on this side. So we're gonna open up the carbs. We gotta dig in there to get them. Take off this, take off everything we can to get in there to the carburetors so we can pull the bowls off and hopefully get the jets out so we can unplug them. That should be all we need to do. There is going to be gasoline in these. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Do I care? Maybe. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Let's run it a little bit with the fuel off. And then maybe we can have a lot less gas in the carbs. I'll go get the key. She's not interested in running right now. I don't know. I don't know. She's on choke. I turned the fuel off. And she's not really into this. I also noticed that my throttle tube is gross and falling off. So when you turn the grip, doesn't really turn. That is nasty. All right, so we don't have much gas in there. At least, I don't know, it's not running. So let's start digging in there, get these bowls off. If I lose some fuel, I lose some fuel, it's fine. Once you get the 8mm bolt out of here, that gets your cover off, and then there's these two guys that fit right in here in these grommets. Then you have 10mm bolt here, and I'll show you that is holding on this secondary air filter, which there's a little filter in there. If you didn't know, you should change that. Mine is completely gone. This one, I have changed that. This one needs a new one. There's no filter there. Okay, so that needs done. That's on a hose right here. And then there's a 10mm up here, which usually I guess I work on these with the tank off. I didn't realize that was buried up here. So there's that. And then, yeah, 10mm here, here, and here. And then it's attached to your ignition, which will probably just get this out of the way and let it hang. But I got to get this 10mm out up here. You may actually want to get that tank up out of the way. All you got to do is remove your seat. You should have 14 is missing. Get the seat off, then you can look at your battery like I need to do, and then there should be a bolt right here. Open that up. You can kind of lift the tank a little bit out of the way and you'll be good to go. Sorry guys, I thought these were 12s, and they are. I had the 11mm socket in my hand testing it and thinking they must be bigger than 12. Those are 12. And this is a 5 hex. So I'm just gonna open that up and then lift the tank a little bit. We'll get in there. Oh yeah, and I forgot. Your idle adjustment is probably sitting in this little guy, so get that out of there. And then our choke comes across here and is in this guy, and I think there's a way to get that off of there. Yeah, this turns out of the back. Somehow this is able to be gotten out of there. Somehow. I'll figure it out. But now we can get to our carburetors right there. 17mm gets this off of there, and then you just push it out of the bracket. Now, what do we need down here for our carburetor bowls? Usually 8mm, and there are 3. I think that we need to get to. So let's go ahead. You could drain it if you want. Looks like my screws are on the opposite side, which I would prefer them to be over here. I think someone switched the bowls at one point, but that's fine. We'll just open them up and let the gas flow out of there. It'll be fine. Yeah, right here. There's one. I think it's an 8. Hold on, what's in there? Oh, we could use a screwdriver if you can get it on there. Either way, we are finally in here. I did use this handy little tool. Let me show you. I got this a long time ago, but it's good. If you can get a good grip on these screws, which do have a Phillips head in the inside of them, use this. And then you can get in there and hold it on there and torque it. But anyway, they get everything off except for the one screw. I'm sorry, you can't see it, but this bowl's ready to drop. So let's do that. Maybe I can get in there once this is out of the way. It's sealed on there pretty good. Unless there's more than 3 screws. I don't think so. It's already starting to drip fuel. So, oh boy. There's a lot of fuel in there. Okay, well, that's it for today. That's it for today. I'm gonna get this off of here so it doesn't eat up anything. And that is our first one. Yeah, they look a little dirty, so hopefully we can get these guys out and cleaned and be back running. Now, yes, there is room. I can get that one screw up there. So that's it for today. I gotta go and I gotta clean this up real quick. So, all right, I was able to get that last bolt out, and now this one will come off, and we'll probably lose a bunch of fuel there. And then I already sprayed this with some soapy water, and I'll probably have to respray it after this one drops down. Here we go. Come on, guy. I think I got these all out. Should be. Just have to break the seal. Oh my goodness. That's gasoline. And by the way, there is dirt in these guys. There's dirt in that. That's the one I already took down. Oh, these are nasty. These are nasty. So yeah, I see why it's not running right. We might end up having to do the other two too. So anyway, that's it for today. And now I have gas all over me. Dang it. Well, hopefully these seal again. Usually I would put some new gaskets on, but you know, oh man, if the other one looks like this, we're in trouble. But until it doesn't run good, probably not gonna clean the other side. I hope these look a little different to you. These are the bottom of the float bowls, and let me show you what we got out. Pulled them from this large spot right here in the middle that looks kind of gross. And you can see next to it is the other jet. So we have the main jet in the middle and the pilot jet here. And I pulled out the floats because everything was looking a little gross. Oh, and look across to that float bowl over there. Something's leaking. I'm gonna spray some stuff up there, and we might have to get in there. Now the problem is these hoses here. These are hard to get off. Harder than this side. This is the easy side. And I don't want to do that side, but knowing what I'm seeing here, it's probably better to go in and do them while we're at it. But we're not gonna get them from this side most likely. So here's what we got. We have our float right here. That actually looks good. Don't really have to do much, just dust it off. Looks like it's working. Here's our float. We're just gonna clean that up a little bit. We don't want that junk staying in there. The float actually just slides on here when you're done. And then here is our pilot jet. I gotta clean that up. That's a little gross. Get some guitar wire and go through those holes. Use some compressed air. Make sure everything's open. Fuel comes up from the float bowl and then gets up through. And again, we're gonna clean this up. Here's our little rod that holds this in place. Our actual float there. And here is our main jet. Here's our little guy. You gotta turn that out of there. And make sure you clean all that up. We're gonna figure out, oh, what I used to get these out 7mm wrench right here. It's easy to reach in there and grab it. Be very careful. Make sure you have a good grip on it before you start turning, because you will round this off and it'll be way harder to get out. But that's a 7mm on this bike. I want to figure out what pilots or what sizes these jets are. Should say it should be printed. Actually, this one might be printed on the end here, and I'll look at that once I get them cleaned up a little bit. But these are the two. We're going to clean these up so we can reinstall it. Now, again, I said this probably should be replaced. This gasket, I am going to carefully pick it out of here, and maybe it is pretty flat. I'm going to get all that dirt out anyway, but I don't want to be in here again, so I should have new gaskets. I might have some around, I might not, but this is what we're dealing with here. This is the front, and these actually look even worse. So, carb cleaner, don't get it on your rubber gaskets, that kind of destroys them. And again, you don't really have to clean up this float. This is the stopper that stops your gas flow, and if this little guy's bad, it won't be stopping the gas flow. Looks pretty sharp and pointy, so we should be good there. So I'm going to clean these up, get out some guitar wire, compressed air, make sure everything's very clean. Don't ream them out. You don't want to make them any bigger. And this does have open exhaust, so I'm thinking maybe we should put a jet kit in it, but I don't have new jets for it, so probably going to put it back together as it is right now. And the only way I would do that is if I equaled out the other side, which if that's not actually leaking, I don't want to do it. So I'll be back with you when these are all cleaned up. Just so you know, I ripped one of the gaskets, so I need to find gaskets for this thing, and I guess we'll be ordering those, but we're not going to run this. This is just simple green here, but I'm just cleaning up the floats, and it's good to know that they float. If they sank, there would be holes in them and they wouldn't function. So I'm just going to let them in. We're warming this up, and we're going to run the jets and the lower float bowls here through the ultrasonic cleaner for a few runs, and then we'll pick at it. You could just use carb cleaner, but you know what? It's more expensive than this dirty simple green. So we're going to get these cleaned up. Now that I've run all this stuff and kind of cleaned it up, I have these little brushes that I don't know, I had them for paint guns, but they work really good to go into some of these areas. You're supposed to be able to see through these. This is the main jet holder, and you're going to run your little, find the smallest guitar string that, well, the largest guitar string that you can go through these naturally. Maybe work your way up from the smallest. You don't want to ream them out, like I said. And like I said, this is the main jet holder. It's going to be pretty wide open through there, so you can fit one of these little brushes through there. So there's the holder. This is the main jet. Now, I did tell you I was going to look up the color, or the number, and it's going to be printed right there on the side if it's OEM. It may not be there, but you can look for it. 102. I think that is stock. So there's 102. And again, you're going to have a hole there. It's going to be pretty large, but that might be for a larger guitar string. Just, you know, if these are plugged, you're not getting gas flowing through here. Now for idle jet, we have these holes here. They go straight through. You can run your guitar string through, and then we have a hole through the middle. That's actually usually pretty small. And again, we have our idle jet number. It's right here. It's 40. And I've worked on these before. I think that is stock. So anyway, at least we have stock jets. That's a good thing. Bowls cleaned up good. I should actually just pop these. There's a gasket in there. Make sure it'd be easy to open if I ever needed to. And I happen to have a kit here, so I can actually put a new gasket right over here and reassemble these. And the floats turned up pretty good. I wiped them down and got off what I could. They're a little stained, but they float and they're clean. So sometimes the front and rear carbs have different size jets, so don't mix them up if they're not the same. But otherwise, the main jet goes in the jet holder. That goes in the big hole. The idle jet goes in the smaller hole. Make them snug when you turn them up in there. So we're going to go put those on and then put this back together. Guitar string, luckily I was prepared with a kit, so we can put these back together. All you're gonna do is take the proper gasket and just lay it in there, and hopefully everything works out for you. Charging up the battery as we go. And then these guys are looking pretty clean in there. Sprayed it, cleaned it up. Now we're gonna start putting the jets back in. Like I said, just seat them in there nice and light. A little bit of a pressure, but don't force them. And make sure you go in straight. Got the jets installed. You see they're nicely snug turned in there. Got the floats over here. And there's a hole in the frame, that brace there. That's how you get the rod through. You can't get it in from this side, so you gotta back it into there and then push it through. Make sure you put your plunger in there so that can cut off gas. Now I gotta do this one. Put your plunger in that hole, the brass hole there, and put your float in. And then this one's easy, it's from the outside. And just fish it right through, and then we can put the bowls on. See our new gaskets. They're sitting in there nice. I actually took a piece of paper. See, these kind of just, they're a little loose. So sometimes you got to put a little bit of glue or something, just something to keep them in place. But I actually set them in here, took a piece of paper and flipped it over and let them sit that way for a little while. So they're sitting in there better. You got to make sure they are in their grooves before you put them in. These are the old ones. They're like super flat and kind of gross, and they were brittle, so they ripped. So we're not using them. You can see they've been flattened. So yeah, those are done. And we can put these in here. Now, you see, these are different. I think I'm gonna swap them now that I have the opportunity to put these on the outside right here so I could reach them easily. I think I can do that because they just, see, I etched them. Looks like my etching left. Oh no, there. This was the rear one. So this one was facing this way, but I think I can flip it because these are in reverse and put this one on the front this time. So right there is my drain if I want to drain the gas out of here next time. So remember, front one needs to go on first because you can't reach that bolt with the back one installed. So let's go ahead and put the front one on. I usually put them in, take one of the bolts, turn it in, hold it there, try to get all the bolts started so that this doesn't move around and it's steady and sturdy when you put it in. I cheated a little bit and threw some gasket maker in there just to hold it in place in a couple little spots. But the gasket maker is fuel resistant. These guys are clean and all back in, and I don't even know if I want to see what happens. I want it to run. I did charge the battery and it says it's full. As you can see, I flipped these two bowls around, so now we can drain it from this side easily. Those two would need to be done in the back, if you can focus for me. Those are coming out this side too, so we could do all of them from this side, or I can flip those around if I get to cleaning those. I don't want to see gas running out anywhere, so I really don't want to try this, but if there's gas in here, maybe we should see if she'll run. All right, well, let's try it before I put it back together. Choke is on, gas is off. She should fire up. There should be some gas in there yet. I don't know how much gas is in here. We'll turn it to reserve and start cranking, and hopefully nothing runs out. And she starts. You gotta fill up these two bowls first of all. Filling it up. There must be some fuel in there. It's not better than before. I think we have to do the other side, but that's it for today. You saw how to do this, and the other side would be way harder. If you want to see that, let me know. I think we're okay. See you later. Get out and ride or clean your carbs on your left side of your Magna.